Ali Prime YouTube channel. My name is Babu Rao. Today, in this video, we are going to discuss about the rate inclusive of tax. So before entering into the topic, a request to you, everyone visiting my channel and viewing my videos, please subscribe my channel without fee and click the bell icon next to the subscribe button and select all so that you will get notification for all the videos which I upload in my channel, and also share my channel with others. Then now, and one more most important thing is, everyone please visit every video till the end. Don't skip in the middle. If you skip in the middle, you will not, if you skip in the middle, you will understand the topic or subject up to that point only. The balanced topic or subject you will not understand. It will be like half knowledge, so it is a waste of time, nothing more than that. That is why watch every video till the end, and watch more than once also. You will get a good knowledge, and also you work out or practice the examples or your own examples you take given in the video. You practice them many number of times so that you will get expert knowledge relating to the topic in every video. Okay. And then if the video is good, after watching till the end, if the video is good, please like the video so that the YouTube people will share this video with many people, and many people can has the chance to view the video and learn the topic. Like now we will enter into the our topic. So here see here, generally, when you are selling the goods, how you will make the entry? So when the selling the goods, how will make the entry for the day book will go see here. So what we will do? So in the sales entry, we will make the party name I created. Party name is created. Okay. And then sales, then come to the item. That is the name of item. So I'm taking Dell laptop, and here, so this is the go down, don't bother about that. And then, so quantity number one, 30,000 rupees I am taking, and that is the amount 30,000 rupees. So here, how it will show? So number one, so quantity is the one and rate is 30,000. We are entering 30,000 and we are calculating tax. That means this 30,000, this is the taxable rate and the taxable amount. Sometimes in some cases, in some businesses, what they do is they will sell the goods at the rate including the tax. That is the rate 30,000 rupees rate includes the tax also, the GST. That is the tax rate is 18%. So the 18% tax is also included in the rate. That means when you are including in such a case, when you are selling like that, but in the invoice, we have to show separate taxable value should be separated and tax should be separated. So taxable value we have to show, and then we have to show that GST. Like that, you have to show IGST or CGST and GST. We have to show like that. But if the rate is inclusive of tax, how we will calculate? See here, if it is 30,000 rupees, rate is 18%. So it is 30,000 rupees. When you are selling for 100 rupees is the taxable value and tax is 18%, then the total value will be, total value means invoice value will be 118. That means if 30,000 rupees includes tax also, means this is equal to 100 plus 18. Tax rate, taxable value 100 plus tax rate 18. Total is 118. This 30,000 is included, tax is included means it is equal to 118. So divided by 118 into, we want the taxable value into 100. Taxable value is 100, tax is 18. So divide by 118, taxable value plus tax rate divided by that, and you multiply with 100 is the tax, taxable value, multiply by 100, 25,423.73 paisa. This is the rate. So we have to give. So the total amount is the taxable value, rate inclusive of tax means total value will be 30,000 including tax. So this is taxable value including tax, this is 36,000. But if 30,000 rupees, we have to enter here only the taxable value. Here you see how we will enter the taxable value. 25,423.73. That is the taxable value. So we have to enter the taxable value only, and the tax is calculated, and we will get the total value. Okay, we'll get the total value. And if there is some fraction, that is the decimal value, after the decimal, the invoice value should be rounded off. If you want, you can round off. Taxable value, you should not make it round off, and the GST also should be rounded off. Only the invoice value, total value, should be rounded off. So if you want to round off this, we can create a, you can create a, ledger called round off. So we have to create round off. Say Alt C, round off. Round off, we have to calculate. This is taken as sometimes reducing, sometimes increasing. Rounding off means the paisa is round off to the rupee. Okay, it is taken as indirect expenses. Indirect expenses, and here, okay, we'll go to this, and for this discount there will be no tax. Okay, it is calculated like this. Now if you put like this, create that, so the cursor will come here, and here we have to put the difference amount, that is the round off amount. Here there is, this round off should be, if the paisa, that is after the decimal means paisa, 50 and above, we have to increase to the next rupee. You take limit 1 rupee, so increase to the next rupee. If it is up to 49 paisa, less than 50 paisa, and what means up to 49 paisa, the paisa should be reduced, omitted, and rounded up to the lowest rupee. So if it is only 1 paisa means less than 49, so it should be omitted and rounded up to the lowest rupee means 30,000. So for that we have to reduce, means we have to put minus sign, minus 0.1. If you make like this, so automatically it will be rounded off. So if it is showing 30, if it is showing 48 paisa, so should be reduced minus 48 paisa. If it is showing 62 paisa, we have to increase to next rupee. 62 means we have to add 38 paisa to the next rupee. So we have to put 0.38, and plus symbol is not required. If you enter amount, it will be added automatically like this. This tax value is added to the taxable value. So automatically this also will be added. If it is no need to give plus symbol. In the case of reduction, you have to reduce, then you have to give this one. So if you do in this way, sometimes when you are making the reduction, we may forget to give minus symbol, then it will be added. So the difference will become double. So sometimes when you are increasing the limit, so if it is 65 paisa, 3 paisa, the balance 63 means 37 paisa is to be added. By mistake, the calculation of mistake calculation, so 30 instead of 37 paisa, we may, that 63 paisa we may add again. So when you are making the round off, reducing or increasing, the calculation may be wrong. We may commit error. In such a case, if the round off is made automatic, automatically it will take the round off, increase or decrease. So for that purpose, what we have to do is, when I creating this account here, ledger, if you like this, if you create, it will not be automatic, you have to make manually. If you want to make automatic, so here type of ledger, here there are two items are given, discount and invoice rounding, only invoice rounding. We have to select invoice rounding, automatically to round off the invoice. And how it is, what is the method? Normal rounding, that is 50 or more, increase to the next rupee. Less than 50 paise means up to 49, omit that and reduce to the lowest rupee. I'm taking limit 1 rupee, so highest rupee, lowest rupee. If you take 5 rupees, next 5 rupees or lowest 5 rupees, it is better to take one. Round off, downward rounding means if you take that one, whatever the amount, 60 paisa or 80 paisa or 2 paisa, that will be omitted. It will go down, rounded up to the lowest rupee downwards. Upward rupees, even if it is 1 paisa, 10 paisa or 80 paisa, it will increase to the next rupee. So these two are not good. It is better to take always normal rounding. If you take like this, everything will be there, limit will be 1 rupee. In such a case, you see, automatically after this, see here. So here, after this, see there is 1 paisa. And after this, if you select round off, automatically it is 1 paisa means it will reduce minus 1 paisa. This is to be done. So we will make this one. So here, the invoice is made like this. Here, this is calculated by S. That is 30,000 rupees divided by 118 to 100. So we calculated this one. So in the case of 1 or 2 transactions, we may calculate, we make the calculation, it's okay. But there are many, for every each, in this case, for every sale, the rate will be inclusive of tax, except some. If there is no inclusive of tax, then directly the taxable value will be the rate will be the taxable value. Directly you enter 30,000, the terms will be calculated, tax will be calculated extra. But if it is inclusive of tax, most of the goods will be inclusive of tax in this case of this type of business. If that rate includes tax also, in the case of inclusive of tax, but calculate if there are a lot of transactions like that with inclusive of tax. So for each and every one, we have to calculate. We may when you are making the calculation, we may commit error also. So and everything we have to calculating that and entering the rate will be a problem. In that case, if you give the tax, rate including tax, that is 30,000. Inclusive of the tally itself will calculate the taxable value. It will divide. That means calculate the taxable value means 30,000. It will calculate automatically divided by 100 plus tax rate is 18%. If it is 12%, 100 plus 12, 112. If it is 18%, 100 plus 18, 118. If it is 28%, 100 plus 28, 128. This is equal to 180 into 100 is the taxable value. Automatically it's coming. So the system itself will automatically calculate. For that purpose, how to reclassify. In that case, we have to take this is that rate means taxable rate. So excluding, not including tax. So you have to give the inclusive of tax, you have to give the rate. If you give the inclusive of tax rate, it will calculate the rate without tax. So for that, in between these two, we have to give another column that is called as rate inclusive of tax. Or we will go only for sales. In the case of sales only, that will be there. So go to F12, go to tax details, provide rate inclusive of tax for stock items. So make it yes. That means the rate inclusive of tax. That you do that. So automatically the inclusive of rate is coming. So in this case, what we have to do is here, here we have to give the rate inclusive of tax 30,000. If we give, automatically it will calculate and it will show the taxable value, taxable rate it will show. If it is 1, so then quantity is 1. Okay. If the quantity is 2, so it will take the rate, everything will be there. The amount will be calculated with this taxable rate into the quantity it will take, and the total invoice value will be, see if it is 30,000 is the taxable value. Inclusive of tax means invoice price means including tax. Including 30,000 means 2 into 30 is 60,000. So divided into 2, total amount will be 60. Like this, we have to make the qualification. That's one. So F12, this is will be available only for sales only. Okay, only for sales, we have to make like this. Otherwise, it will be a problem. If you give one number, if you give 30,000 means this will be the taxable value itself. So tax will be separate. Okay, and now we are giving it as taxable only. We are giving the taxable value. Rate inclusive of tax. If you give yes, so automatically here we will give 30,000 rupees. Rate inclusive of tax 30,000, and it is automatically calculating. Sorry. Rate inclusive of tax, it is 30,000. If you give it yes, automatically. If you give 30,000, it is something wrong. So 30,000 if you give, so automatically it is calculating. Okay, it will calculate the taxable value and this round off if it is to be done. Okay, like this we have to enter. So the same thing we will take in another company. So here we are taking Sri Krishna Enterprises. In this case, we are selling the goods. So I am taking the sales on 31st May. So here everything is okay. Dell laptop, one number. So the taxable value is 30,000 rupees. If you give the 30,000 rupees, automatically the inclusive of tax, that is tax and the taxable value will be separated. Only taxable value will be taken. This is inclusive of tax. This is without tax. So the total amount will be this is inclusive without tax into quantity, that is there. And then we have to enter the tax value separately. So, and the total amount will be equal to the rate including tax. According to the rate, this is the amount. In the case some fraction amount is there, that can be rounded off. For that I told you, so calculate round off, make it automatic. Here invoice rounding if you take, it will, and then normal rounding 1 if you take, automatically it will round off. So -1 it is there. So like this is to be done. Okay. So in this case, only in the case of sales, only in the case of sale voucher, this option will be available, provide rate inclusive of tax. So the seller will make the column and rate, taxable value, taxable rate, that is including tax rate, and excluding tax rate, that is the rate inclusive of tax. This is rate without tax. So rate without tax will be given, that is the taxable value and the rate, like this. So depending, this is the thing, the seller will make the entry. Okay. So how the buyer will make? So in the case, how the buyer will make? See from here, see here, we sold to rate inclusive of tax accounting. So in this case, how the buyer will make? Buyer will enter in the purchase voucher. But in the purchase voucher, so this is the invoice for that I prepared the invoice. See here, this is the invoice. Okay. See here for this. See. So this is the invoice. That invoice I saved. Okay, this invoice. So how the buyer will make the entry. So here buyer is the tax. See, the inclusive of tax accounting. Okay. So this is the tax invoice given by the seller. The seller name will be there. First in the name will be shown. Then buyer name will be shown with all the details. Okay. Now I am taking up the other one. That is rate inclusive of tax accounting. So in this case, if you go to this, see here. So here, the purchase on 31st May. So 31st May, how this buyer will make the entry. So in the purchase voucher, so number 3, that is invoice number 3, date is 31st. 31st May, that is the date also 31st. 31st May is the date. And then purchase from Sri Krishna Enterprise, that is the name of the seller. So we are the buyer entering, and we are making the details and purchase, and Dell laptop. We are purchasing Dell laptop, one number. Dell laptop, one number we are taking. And here, so what you do? We have to enter the purchase. In the purchase voucher, if you go to the F12, so that inclusive of tax, allow inclusive of tax, that will not be available. So why? Because see here, we enter the purchase voucher, and in the purchase voucher on the basis of the invoice received. So from the tax invoice from Sri Krishna Enterprises we received, in that itself given the taxable rate is given, that is inclusive of tax is given, taxable rate is also given excluding tax. So we have to enter only the taxable value rate only. So with the help of this column taxable value, that directly we can enter here and we can make the entry. That's all. So the purchase entry will be made on the basis of the sales invoice given by the seller. So the seller will show both including of tax, excluding tax. So we have to take taxable value means excluding tax. So the excluding tax will be shown here. That we have to take and make. And then after making the entry, if there are some fraction by say, so if the seller makes the round off, then only we can make the round off only. So the seller gives the invoice without round off. Without round off means there 1 paisa will be there. We have to make the entry with 1 paisa only, because both the entries in the books of the buyer, both entries in the books of the seller, the entry should be the same amount. That is why we have to. Here the seller gave rounded off the amount. So here also we can also make round off with automatic round off 1 paisa. So the same thing is given. Okay, the same thing. So like this you have to make. If the seller gives without round off, we also should not. The seller gives without round off, the buyer also should not round off. Okay, so like this it is made. So this is the buyer. We are the buyer. For the purchase, we give the taxable value on the basis of the invoice received from the seller. Okay. Suppose now we are selling, we are purchasing. Now we will also sell. So now when you are selling, we can take the column. In the sales voucher, we are selling to X and Co, for example. So we are selling to X and Co, accept sales the same. Dell laptop, this is not this one. This invoice is received from the our seller. So just laptop we are taking. So 1 piece we are selling. Here, for example, we are selling it for 32,000. So we have to give the rate here. In this case, we have to take the F12. So provide rate inclusive of tax, inclusive of tax for stock items, make it yes. Then this column will be available. Here we have to give 32,000 rupees is the rate we are selling, including tax. That is inclusive of tax 32,000. Automatically it will calculate. See, 32,000 divided rate is the same. Tax rate 100 plus 18. It is 118 into 100. This is the thing. See, 27,118 plus 0.64. 27,180.64 is the tax one. 27,118.64 is the taxable value into 9% CGST means 2,440.677 means 67. You will take it as two numbers only. It will be 68.68. Okay. So you are taking that 68 and this is also 68 and CHST also 68. So with this, including the taxable value plus tax, already this is round off. We need not get any. So even if you take round off, there will be no value because it is already round figure. So no amount will be taken. Just if you accept this, no problem. If you accept this item, that is the entry without value, that will be with value. It will save. All this will be saved. There is no value for this. It will not. If there is paise, it will be saved. Now you see, it is not saved. See here. If you accept, go to again page up. We will go to this. See here, paisa is not saved. Round off is not saved because there is no value for round off. Like this. In the case of the sales only, we have to make the entry with the inclusive of tax. We can make yes. In the case of purchases, there will not be that. There will not be that what you call. There will not be inclusive of tax voucher, inclusive of tax option. In that case, with the help of the seller's invoice, we have to enter the actual taxable rate only. Rate inclusive of tax, we will not take in the case of a purchase voucher. If you see this here, if you go to print page, here go to preview, and here this is the actually sales invoice. This is the purchase voucher we are watching in the shape of invoice. In this case, the heading will be only invoice and our name will be shown first. In the case of sales, the seller name will be shown, then buyer name. In the case of purchase invoice, purchase voucher, in the shape of invoice, the heading will be only invoice and our name, buyer name will be given first and then our buyer name two times. That is one buyer and consignee. And then seller, supplier, bill from, that will be shown at the end. This is the supplier, 16 enterprises. So here also the round off is shown. Okay. But generally for purchase, just we will watch only this one. Okay. We will watch the invoice, purchase voucher in the shape of invoice only, but there will be no invoice for purchase. There will be no purchase invoice. Only sales invoice will be there. On the basis of the sales invoice, we'll make entry in the purchase voucher when you purchase. Okay. This is about this one. Okay. This is about the rate inclusive of tax. So only the seller in the sales invoice only, we will have the option sales invoice of sales, rate inclusive of tax, that we have to divide into, we have to take only the portion. Say if you go to the shops, if you purchase a pant for 1,000 rupees, that means it includes the tax also. It is a tax, that is price inclusive of tax, rate inclusive of tax. So we'll pay 1,000 rupees, we'll take it. But see the bill. So he will divide the taxable value by calculating like this, automatically it will calculate. So he will show the taxable value separately, then tax separately, total amount will be 1,000 rupees. So this is about the rate inclusive of tax. Okay. With this, I am closing this. In the next video, we will take another important topic. Okay.